Our cover story this morning, Britney Spears reacting for the first time to the news going public that her husband, Sam Asghari, filed for divorce. Jacqueline Lee is back with that story.
Before, my first marriage, we made all of the mistakes. Unfortunately, he passed away.
So why did you guys get a divorce?
Because I really wanted something different. It's very unfortunate because he was the most loving, kind person. I had all the love and support that I could have ever wanted.
Tom Brady and Gisele Bündchen's marriage is officially over. The high-profile pair, together for more than 13 years, moved quickly to end their marriage.
It was the biggest news story on the planet.
There was so much at stake in this case. Billion-dollar companies, properties all over the country, and 4 children. The stated reason for the divorce was irreconcilable differences.
What we really learned in this case was this was a toxic relationship.
Okay, so Sofia Vergara has been married to Joe Manganiello for the last 7 years, and they are a Hollywood darling favorite, hashtag power couple. Every one of those things can be attributed to them, but not anymore. They are not a hashtag power couple anymore, because late last week they posted on their social media accounts that they were splitting up. They did the classic, we respect each other, we love each other, please give us, privacy in this very difficult time. This is the mutual whatever, the whole deal with the Notes app.
See, these dudes kill me. That's what's wrong with this generation today. These young boys today, what do she bring to the table? The hell you mean, man? What do your ass bring to the table? You got a woman that can come to the table that can make another you.
You got $1,700 after you made, like $30 million on that tour?
Dog, we made more than that.
And you got $1,700 to your name. What the hell happened to the money? When you went...
It's called a divorce.
Halle Berry's divorce settlement from Olivier Martinez has been finalized after almost 8 years, with Berry agreeing to pay Martinez $8,000 a month in child support. She will also pay him 4.3% of any income she receives above $2 million in additional support. The Oscar winner and the actor initially filed for divorce in October 2015 after 2 years of marriage at the time. It is with a heavy heart that we have come to the decision to divorce. After 2 years, they said in a joint statement to people, we move forward with love and respect for one another and the shared focus of what is best for our son. We wish each other nothing but happiness in life, and we hope that you respect our, and most importantly, our children's privacy as we go through this difficult period.
Hey everyone, this is Rock from StageSky.com. I was watching Kendra D's breakdown of Halle Berry's divorce, and I have the link down below. I encourage you to check out the rest of our video. And I think it's about time we had a heart-to-heart conversation about divorce, marriage, and what it means to basically honor your commitment. Question I want you guys to keep in the back of your mind as we go through this. Why do you want to get married, right? I'm talking to my ladies and my fellas, but mainly my ladies, because it seems the popular sentiment in the red pill spaces and YouTube channels, if you listen to them, is that men don't want to get married. They're afraid of the divorce. But Rock, Halle Berry's paying all this child support. Yeah, but that's rare. Like most, it's the men who are paying child support and, fighting for custody of their children, while it's the women who are no longer happy and, they make up 70% of divorces.
Somewhere in the ballpark of 70% of divorces are initiated by women. And the video said something to the effect of there's women who have higher education and they, feel like they're being held back or they're tired of trauma. And I'm sitting here thinking, these are not the reasons that I see women file for divorce. Sometimes they file for divorce as an attention getting, like, hey, you don't really think I'm gonna do this? Well, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna show you that if you don't get your act together, that I'm gonna move forward with a divorce. And what unfortunately happens most of the time is the husband is like, okay, great, let's do it.
Just keep in mind, like, a question that you gotta really consider is, why do you want to get married? Like, what do you think marriage is? Like, we have girlfriends, we have boyfriends, we have situationships, we have the talking phase, we have the engagement period, and it's like, when you get to marriage itself, what do you think that is? I was born in 1986, okay? So I was a 90s kid, and even then, like, even though I'm part of the millennial crowd, my parents, being Christians that they were, they basically instilled in me that dating is to prepare you for marriage. Like, before, I didn't even know about the hookup culture till I was like 23. Like, I didn't know about it. When you go out and you start dating a woman, you're exclusive from the get-go. You're committed to her from the get-go. And You're seeing if you're compatible. You're seeing if you can get along. And this dating period is just to find out if you're suitable for the lifelong commitment of marriage. It's to prepare you for marriage. You know, when I was 15 and 16, I made up my mind that I really want to get married, you know, and when I get married, it's going to be to one person for the rest of my life. That was my goal. And that was before I was even religious. That was before I even read the entire Bible or heard what God said on the matter. And then, you know, you grow up, you get out of the house, you find out about the hookup culture, you find out that everyone's having sex casually as if it's just taking a shower. You know, you find out that it's to be expected. You find out sex as a prerequisite to marriage, you know, and it's like, dang, man, I was raised for a world that doesn't exist. Now I have to weave through the traffic to find a woman who is just like me, someone who's saving themselves for marriage and has the idea that once you get married, it's for life, you know, and that's not easy. Okay, let's get into Crimson D's video, and she talks about Halle Berry's divorce, but I've seen, it's not just Halle Berry, right? It's Britney Spears, it's Kanye West, it's Jeff Bezos, it's Bill Gates, and it's like, it's really disheartening because they act like, oh, well, we're still in good terms, we're gonna be good friends and all that, and it's like, dude, you just divorced. That's a super serious failure. You know, divorce is no small thing. Let's get into it, okay? Rock, why do you care so much? Why is this such a big deal? All right. I'm talking to my Christians here because if you're not a Christian, if you don't live by Bible standards, if you don't even know what the Bible says on the matter of divorce or marriage, all of what I'm saying is just going to sound like, you know, crap. It's going to sound like garbage. You're going to hate it. You might want to turn on this video right now. But I'm talking to my Christian brothers and sisters, my spiritual brothers and sisters. If you call yourself a Christian trying to do what's good in God's eyes, listen up, all right? This is going to be a little bit difficult to hear because it goes against what the world's telling you, but this is what the Bible says. Jesus Christ tells us that the only permissible reason for divorce is if one of you commits adultery. Let me repeat that. The only permissible reason for divorce is if one of you commits adultery. He says that if you divorce a woman and you didn't commit adultery, then you're setting her up to commit adultery. What that means is if you divorce a person, none of you committed adultery, but oh, we're just no longer happy, then that person, whoever she gets with or whoever you get with, that person's committing adultery. And I think the logic behind that is, I mean, God knows our hearts, right? A lot of you guys who say, oh, I'm no longer happy or I just want to live my best life, chances are it's because you have someone else in mind. Chances are it's because you have someone else that you're in love with and you love that person. You basically broken your vows before you even got divorced. You're no longer happy with the person you're with. You found someone else. I'm no longer happy. And as soon as you get divorced, like weeks or months later, oh, I'm with someone else. How'd that happen? That's interesting. That's strange. No, Rock, because there's abusive relationships. Okay, let's talk about it. Because I don't want to be dismissive of that. Now, I've actually seen my own mother be abused. I've seen plenty of relationships where abuse does happen. In the 60s and the 70s and even before then, you know, Sean Connery talks about, you're a smacker woman, you know, and it's like, that's not good. You know, is that enough for, you know, you to break your commitment and your vow to God and your marriage because he's abusive, whether it's physical or mental or emotional or spiritual? Again, this might suck to hear this, but I say no. I say that if you're in an abusive relationship, there are other things you can do that doesn't amount to divorce. You can leave the home. You can go to a friend's place. You can go to your brother, your uncle, your parents' place and stay there until your man, or whoever is abusing you, calms down. No, Rock, you shouldn't have to. You're right. You shouldn't have to, but guess what? You made a commitment to him or her when you said I do to her in your vow. That's what it means, ladies and gentlemen. I know it doesn't feel right. I've heard plenty of atheists make that argument. Like on my boss's radio show, there's an atheist on the show. Her name's Anna, and she would say, the reason why I don't want to get married is because I don't want to be stuck in an abusive relationship, as if she thinks that marriage is, you know, tantamount, like it's guaranteed to happen that you're going to be in an abusive relationship. But when it comes to the abusive relationship and whether or not you should stay in a marriage, I do think that you should. You know, unless someone commits adultery, you should stay with that person. Take marriage counseling, you know, give some time, you know, stay away from, don't let him abuse you. Don't let her abuse you. If my cousin, who is like a little sister to me, if she was here in the same town and she said, oh, my man started abusing me, I'm like, come, you know, you have a place to stay here. And I wish he would show up. I'll show him. God, I'll show him abuse, you know, but still, that's her husband. I would never tell her, hey, divorce papers tomorrow, annulment tomorrow, because believe it or not, it's not just celebrities that we see this. We see this in our own personal lives, right? I know someone who's very near and dear to my heart, and this person got married to a woman who, but he got engaged to a woman and oh, I'm proposed to her. And then like three weeks later, it's not even like 6 months, but 3 weeks later, he got married to her. And I had a conversation where I picked up the phone and called him, you know, because open rebuke is better than concealed love. It's not just women that I say that to, it's my own fellas. Fellas, I say this to fellas. And I say, why are you doing this? Why so soon, right? Is she pregnant? Because you don't want to double down on a mistake. Marriage is a lifelong commitment. It's a serious thing. And they said, they convinced me, oh, this is what we really want to do. And as soon as they got married, like within weeks, they were already having problems. It hadn't been a whole year, they're divorced. And then this person's telling me, oh, I have other people I'm talking to. Listen, I'm like, I don't want to hear it. You know, I don't want to hear it. What you did was horrible. It is not a small thing. I'm not commending you. I'm not penning. Oh, you got someone? Yeah, no. You got married to a person on a whim, and now you're divorced, and you're acting like it's no big deal. No, you need to take some time, reflect on yourself. You know, like I was super disappointed. I wasn't happy. You're not going to see me so it's not just women that I'm scolding this to. It's also to the fellas, right? I get it. It's a tough thing. You know, like we hear about toxic relationships all the time and, oh, you don't deserve to do this. You don't listen. When I hear people talk about you don't deserve to do this or you deserve to be happy, you get over yourselves. All of you, men and women, y'all need to stop saying this. You don't deserve to be happy. You make your own happiness. All right. You're not entitled to it. You build your worth. When you make a commitment, you stick to it. You honor your vows. All right. We used to believe in stuff like that. Now it's all selfishness. In the video, if you hear Halle Berry's statement, she's saying, we're going to do what's best for me. We're going to do me. You know, and that's why I'm so selective when it comes to choosing a mate. I'm listening. I'm observing. Oh, you're a Christian? Okay, cool. And if I go out on dates with you, I'm going to see if you walk the walk. Because saying you're a Christian, saying that you believe, saying that you put God first, and actually doing it are two different things. That's why I don't need to ask women her body count. I don't need to ask, oh, you know, are you a hood rat or anything like that? You could just observe. And this is a big reason why I don't engage in hookup culture. And I encourage everyone to stop doing that. Right? Because when you're having sex, it blinds you from the red flags. It blinds you from saying no, from you putting your foot down and not tolerating bad behavior. A lot of men and women, you know, like, oh, I just want to get laid. Oh, I don't want to mess up my chances of getting laid on Saturday. So I'm just not going to say anything about her posting Instagram pictures of bikinis and her ass out. You know, like that's a problem, fellas. You know, and ladies, we can't tolerate that. If you call yourself a Christian, you got choices. This is all it is, right? Everything I'm saying, it's a choice. You don't have to do this. God won't drag you to the kingdom kicking and screaming. You know, this is a choice. You could choose to, oh, well, I'm no longer happy. I know what the Bible says, and I think God will forgive me. Because that might happen. But you're playing with fire there. And if he knows your heart, you know, like, don't think for 1 second that, you know, like, oh, well, I did everything I could. God knows your heart. He knows your intention. He knows your motives. And if you have a guy on the side, if you're no longer happy, if you've been corrupted by feminism, and because that's what happens, you know, when God talks about the parable of the sower, the seeds, when it talks about the roots that gets, you know, oh, they hear the word and they grow up a little bit, but then they're choked by the weeds, the pressure of the world. Feminism and Hollywood and and social media, that's the pressure of the world choking you, telling you, you don't need to be married to him. You can live your best life. Look at your body. You're hot. You can get any man you want. And you got your degree, so now, you know, you're making more money than him. You don't need to be with him. Divorce him. You can do a lot better. That's the pressure of the world. And if you fall for it, you're that weed. You're being choked by those weeds. This is why I say I'm super selective when it comes to choosing a mate. Because very often it's older people who tell me, Rock, you know what? Your problem when it comes to dating is that you think too far in advance. You know, you don't know what's going to happen. You need to take more chances. And all of those couples who tell me that are divorced. Like one of the guys, he's in his 60s, and he says, Rock, your problem is that, you know, there's no perfect woman out there, you know? And like all these shaming tactics, guilting tactics to basically prod me like a cattle into marriage. You know, there's no perfect marriage, you know, you got to take chances. And he's on his 4th marriage. Another woman, hey, you know, Rock, you know, you think too much like a chess player. You know, you got to take chances. Just go out and date. You never see what's going to happen to him. And she's on her 2nd marriage. You know, meanwhile, if you talk to older couples who stayed married to one woman for the rest of their life, I'm blessed to have seen those couples. I talked to one on Saturday. His name is Brother Moses. I've known him since I was 11 years old, you know, and he's going through a hard time because he lost his wife this year, but he's been married to her for 60 years, you know, and when you hear those brothers, those who honor their commitment, you know, and you tell them, hey, man, I want to get married to one woman for the rest of my life. I'm very selective, but there's a lot of pressure on me to just take chances. He'll hear that and be like, no. Don't take chances. You're doing exactly what you need to do. I know you're 37. I know it's going to be tougher as you get older, but you're putting God first. That's what it means to be a Christian. You forsake all others. You deny yourself at the risk of dying alone, at the risk of being alone and being single for a long time. And I have been. You know, my last relationship was when I was 30. You know, so 7 years of being single, and I'm not miserable. I know how to avoid that. Just because I'm alone doesn't mean I'm lonely, right? God's blessed me with a lot of things to keep my mind occupied, and my mind's open. You know, like if I see a beautiful woman, I'll take a chance, you know, but very often the women that I'm looking for, they're few and far between. And Proverbs 31 tells us that, you know, so I encourage Christians, men and women, to basically, you know, pick a choice. You know, you could take chances, get into a relationship with the person, and it doesn't work out. But if you make a commitment to him or her, you got to stick to it. You remember this video?
In sickness. And in health. To love. Cherish. And to obey.
We didn't talk about that one in counseling.
We did talk about that in counseling. Yes, we did. So you want me to repeat that again? You want to just keep going?
I think we can keep going.
Like, that video was super viral, I think, last month, and because I think a lot of ladies, I mean, you're very dependent on the herd. You're very susceptible to the herd mentality. What are other people doing, as opposed to what you should be doing? What does God tell you to do? And as beautiful as she was, I think that, you know, it's very sad to say, encouraging to a lot of people to disregard what the Bible says. There's a scripture in Ecclesiastes 8:11, I think, that says, because punishment isn't executed speedily, the hearts of men are emboldened to do what's bad. The logic there is that when you see other people doing bad things, like, it emboldens the people, because we all have temptations, we all have the vices in our heart, myself included. There are a lot of things I would want to do, like the hookup culture. You know, I know for a fact that I would be married, I would have children, I would have everything I want right now if I had given into the hookup culture, right? If I go to the gym tomorrow, see someone smoking hot, and start talking to her, knowing that I might have sex with her this weekend, you know? That could happen, and then I would get married. But ultimately, what have I done? I've forsaken God's laws. I've forsaken what God says in the matter. I've broken my own vows to God for myself. Lastly, the thing that you need to consider when it comes to marriage is your children, right? When it comes to me being selective about a mate and finding a woman that I can live with for the rest of my life, it's not just me looking for someone who's smoking hot. I'm looking for a mother. People say, oh, Rock, you know, this woman that you're about to get with, she ain't your mother, you know? Men and women say that, you know, as it's a very belittling statement. I think it's a very shameful tactic, because it's mainly Western American women who are saying that, because a lot of Western American women aren't being raised to be mothers. You know, a lot of women are raised to forsake all that, to put, like, even the Disney princesses, right?
You said you were bringing a modern edge to it on stage. What do you mean by that?
I just mean that it's no longer 1937, and we absolutely wrote a Snow White that is
not going to be saved by the prince.
She's not going to be saved by the prince, and she's not going to be dreaming about true love. She's dreaming about becoming the leader she knows she can be, and the leader that her late father told her that she could be if she was fearless, fair, brave, and true.
In that clip, it's all about her. You know, be a girl boss. You know, that's what's being pushed on women. And at an early age, that movie that's coming out is Snow White. Children are going to movie theaters being indoctrinated like that. Barbie, same thing. Oh, you don't need to be with a man. You can live your best life. It's like Hollywood and the culture is trying to keep men and women separated from each other. I'm not looking for a woman like that. I'm looking for a woman, honestly, who's self-sacrificing. Rock, so basically what you want to do is you're just looking for a doormat. You're looking for a slave. They like to go to that hyperbole. Even as a man, a husband, we're self-sacrificing to get up at 5 o'clock to go drive a dumpster truck, you know, to put food on the table, you know, to save up for your college, when you rather build a home theater basement for yourself, you know, but you save up for your children's college. That's self-sacrificing. That's what it means to be a part of a family, you know, raise children. And when you bring children in this world, your wants, your desires, in the Bible, it does say that, you know, husband and wife are above the children, but you're the whole point of being a father and mother is to parent. Part of being a parent is to take care of your children and provide them with the best route to life. A lot of these children who grow up in single parent households aren't getting that. And as a black man myself, the stereotypes about being, oh, black men are deadbeat dads, I've always heard that. I saw What's Love Got to Do With It. I saw The Color Purple when I was a kid. I'm like, God, that sounds awful. I really don't want to be that kind of guy. Again, if you're not a Christian, all this is going to sound like crap to you. I get it. But for those who do call yourselves Christians, if you put on the tattoos and the chains of the crucifix and you say, I'm a Christian, whatever, I encourage you to read the scriptures. I encourage you to pray about it. You know, marriage is a serious thing. And if more people actually took their vows seriously, I don't think we would have divorces as much as we have. I don't think we would have so many broken families and children growing up very resentful with a whole bunch of emotional trauma. All right, I can keep rambling. I hope you enjoy this video. Feel free to like and share and subscribe. And yeah, man, let me know what you think.